Guys, you met at university. Do you still recall your first meeting?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we met the very first day. And you actually met Dave, didn't you, obviously?
Yeah, Dave was the first person, our keyboard player Dave was the first person I met at university, and we shared the love of the same punk band. So the first thing I asked him was, what's your favourite band? And he had the same band as me. So that's quite interesting. A band called AFI, who are a punk band. But yeah, it was funny. It was,
we bonded over a love of that punk band. So.
And what was your love, I mean, music-wise?
That was.
Oh, you too, yeah.
Oh, our two?
Yeah.
I guess we sort of have slightly similar interests. Like we like The Cure and that sort of thing. Like I guess
Smiths.
that's the Smiths and The Cure, Joy Division, like those sort of like classic 80s bands and stuff.
And when did you actually start playing together?
Whilst we were at university, we decided that they had some rehearsal rooms at the university that had. They had all the equipment already in there, so it was amps, guitars. So instead of doing our studies, which weren't music related, things like psychology, we decided to just spend all our time playing music. And funnily enough, there was never anyone in the music rooms because the music students were finding other things to do rather than play music.
Yeah.
So we took advantage of that and spent a lot of time in the rehearsal room.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a long time to get good.
Yeah, we couldn't play our instruments or anything when
No?
we started, not really. I could play a little bit of guitar, but apart from that,
Yeah.
And you?
just learn on the job.
I mean, I'd done like, I'd never been in a band before. I mean, I'd sung in the shower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd never been in a band before, so it's kind of all of us were kind of starting from fresh. It was really nice that we were able to learn and like grow together.
And you said grow together. Are there certain turning points in that?
Always.
Yeah.
I think it's
They're
more,
still on now, really.
It's more a case of there's a lot of rather than there being turning points, there's a lot of reward in being persistent. So rather than there being these magical moments, it's normally that you think there's going to be a turning point and then it isn't, but you carry on working really hard, and then eventually the turning point happens without you sometimes realising it. You know?
More of a catalyst. Like something will happen, it'll be like a stumbling block, and then you'll realise like, no, we've got to carry on and do this because it's what we love doing and stuff. You know, there were moments where we nearly broke up as a band. You know,
we had a few
really terrible moments, but
a few tense times along the way. It's really difficult, to put all your time into music, to get 5 people collectively to commit to something like music and work other jobs while they're trying to make it and get recognised. It takes it out of you. You know, we were in our van broke down on the side of the motorway, and it cost us like £1,000 to get it fixed, and nobody had any money. And there were moments like that where you just thought.
But you look back on them now, and it's like. They're like moments you can sort of laugh about.
Yeah, they're fond memories, really. Like at the time, it seems horrific, and you're like, oh, like what?
Got no money.
Yeah, it feels like it's always you. You know, like it must happen to every band. But you end up in these situations. You know, you drive to London, it takes you 4 hours, and then you play to 3 people, and then you go home, and you get home at 5 a.m. and you just think to yourself, like, how long can we keep this up? You know.
What kept you going?
I think that we really enjoyed doing it, and B, that we believed that we had all the elements that would allow us to make it work. We just love writing songs, and I really believed that Chris had a great voice, and that we could, between us, create something that we loved and other people loved. And it was just a question of time, really. You've got to be patient, and that's what we felt we were. We just carried on going. Every time you get kicked, you get back up, and that's kind of how it is for all bands starting out, I think.
When did you stop considering maybe you should quit?
We started touring. We didn't for 4 years. We didn't do a single tour.
Yeah.
So we just either played in London or Bristol, not through choice, just through the fact that nobody would put us on anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then we managed to do a tour. We got a manager, and he was, that every band needs a manager. And once we got a manager, he managed to get us a tour. And from that point, it started to feel like slowly but surely we were a proper band. When you are going places and playing in front of people, and it's slowly but surely you know, the first time you go to Manchester it's 30 people, and then the second time you go to Manchester it's 50 people, and then the third time 100. You do feel like you're making progress, which gives you the motivation to sort of feel like it's working, I guess.
And songwriting-wise,
yeah.
When did you think, well, now we have our own distinctive sound and
probably when we wrote.
I think that what happened was that we were. Like a lot of bands, you're trying to get a record deal when you're young because that's the only way you're going to continue. And we ended up in this situation where we've been going for quite a few years, and we thought that we were trying to write songs to please. Like we thought that we would write a certain song that we thought the record label would like, rather than writing music that we just enjoyed. And we actually came across our own sound when we sort of stopped doing that. We nearly broke up, and then we thought, let's just start making music that makes us feel good.
Yeah.
So that's what we did, you know. It was one summer and we started rehearsing in the crypt of a church, and we just scrapped every song that we had. You know, we've been going for 3 years or 4 years and had all these songs, and we just like completely erased them all, start again, just try and make music that we really enjoyed.
And what was the first song?
Stay.
Yes.
Maybe
yes.
Like elements of parts of Tonight.
There's a few that we wrote 4 or 5 songs. We wrote 4 or 5 songs in a month, and a few of them have made the debut album actually.
Yeah.
Stay has, Tonight has, Your Soul has, and they were all songs that Lions as well. Yeah, they were all songs that like there was a bit of magic in them, and we knew we were onto something. And it just took us a little while to then, you know, hone our craft, so to speak. That's first summer. There was a lot of sort of creative inspiration, and then it took us a little while to then like realize how to then present that properly.
You said magic. Obviously, it is magic, so you can describe it. But
no, yeah.
But what did the new songs have that lacked the previous songs?
I think they had it was like an optimism that like runs through, like it really runs through all of our stuff at the moment. Our whole record is like, as we talked about it, didn't we? Our whole album's like just mainly about optimism and about like, you know, like overcoming obstacles and like learning from them and growing and like improving as a person.
It sort of sums up everything that our band's been through, and I think that the magic that those songs have, they are very true to us, and where we weren't trying to be something else anymore. We were just trying to genuinely be ourselves, and I think that's what the songs had. They had a truth that the previous songs were a little forced, because we were trying to write what we thought other people would want to hear rather than what we wanted to hear.
Was it sound-wise or even also lyric-wise?
Both.
The whole thing. I think it's just the whole package, like everything we're doing.
All made sense. We started letting our drummer Ben play what he wanted to play. You know, like he likes samba, and he likes the sort of tropically sort of beats and tribal stuff, and he was really into that, and that's what he was playing when he wasn't in the band. So we started letting him play that, you know, and we started letting, I don't know, everyone started sort of working as a collective a little more rather than fighting each other in the rehearsal room, which happens a lot when you rehearse in your rehearsal room and you're a young band. You know, everyone wants to put their impression onto the song, and we started working together, I think, rather than sort of the bass player wanting to play the bass riff that he thought was his favourite bass riff, and the drummer playing, you know, what he thought. It was a lot more collective, and it was a lot more we'd make decisions together and try and make the best song that we could, rather than just the best parts that we could.
Yeah.
The album will be released in September.
Yeah.
What's the title?
It's going to be self-titled. Keep it simple.
Why?
We did think we searched for quite a long time for a name, and I think what we decided was that when we came up with the name Coasts, it was in keeping with the concept of the music that we'd started to write. So we'd started to write all this optimistic music, and we wanted a name that was simple but fitted that sort of concept, and Coasts sort of gave you that like openness where it could mean anything
and nothing. Thing as well.
You know, everyone sort of, it's very sort of, it's a very special place when you sit on a beach and you look out over the ocean and you just think, you know, anything's possible. It's quite, so we wanted to kind of bottle that because that's how we felt about our music, and then that sums up the band. So we thought for our debut album, let's just keep it with that sort of idea, I guess, and just call it Coasts, and because it sums up everything that the band's been through up to this point.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you.